What happens when Hollywood's most beloved and humble star finally reaches his breaking point live on national television? The answer is nothing short of jaw-dropping. What unfolded on The View wasn't just another celebrity interview, it was an explosion. The kind of unscripted chaos that leaves a permanent mark on television history. And at the center of it all was Keanu Reeves, the man admired for decades for his kindness, patience, and humility, finally pushed to the edge. The morning began like any other on The View. The theme music blared. The audience clapped with excitement, and the hosts gathered around the table. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and the others settled into their seats, ready to tackle the day's headlines. But there was something unusual in the air, a tension lurking just beneath the surface. And then Keanu Reeves appeared. He entered the studio with his trademark modesty. Dressed in a simple but elegant black suit, that gentle smile spread across his face, the same smile that charmed millions around the globe. The audience erupted, nearly rising to their feet to welcome him. Keanu gave a small wave, almost embarrassed by the overwhelming admiration, before sitting down with effortless grace. "Welcome to The View, Keanu," Whoopi said warmly. "Thank you for having me," he replied softly, his voice calm and genuine. For a while, everything seemed perfectly ordinary. He spoke about his latest film project with thoughtfulness, deflecting praise to his fellow actors and crew. He lit up when describing his lifelong passion for motorcycles, and laughed softly when asked about his viral moments of kindness, giving up his seat on the subway, helping strangers, supporting people quietly without fanfare. The audience adored him. The host smiled, but Joy Behar sat unusually quiet, leaning back with a sly smirk, her pen tapping against her notes. And then she struck. "You know, Keanu," she interrupted mid-story, "I have to ask you something that's been bothering me." The air shifted instantly. The room stilled. Even Keanu's smile faded slightly as he turned to her. "Of course," he said calmly. Joy leaned forward, her voice dripping with challenge. "You've built this reputation around being Hollywood's nice guy, the humble actor who gives away millions, helps strangers, lives like some monk. But is any of it real? Or is it just the most elaborate PR stunt in Hollywood history?" Gasps rippled through the audience. The other host stiffened. Keanu's face barely changed, but the subtle tightening around his eyes gave him away. "I'm sorry," he said firmly. "Could you clarify what you mean?" Joy pressed harder. "Are we really supposed to believe that a Hollywood actor worth hundreds of millions is that selfless? That every good deed just happens to be caught on camera? That all your humility isn't just another performance?" The tension thickened. Whoopi shifted in her chair, ready to intervene. But Joy kept going. "Normal people don't have photographers conveniently following them when they help strangers. So forgive me if I'm skeptical of Saint Keanu." Keanu sat still for a heavy moment. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm but carried a new force. "Joy, skepticism is part of your job. But what you're doing isn't skepticism, it's cruel." "Cruel?" Joy laughed, tossing her head back. "I'm asking questions journalists should ask. You want cruel? Cruel is manipulating people's emotions for profit. Cruel is building a fake persona to sell tickets." Keanu's eyes locked on her harder now. Decades of grief, restraint, and quiet dignity seemed to tremble beneath the surface. "You want to talk about manipulation, Joy?" His voice sharpened. "Let's talk about manipulation. You sit here every day tearing people down for entertainment. You twist genuine attempts at goodness into cynical little sound bites because controversy boosts ratings, doesn't it?" "I'm a journalist," Joy shot back. "I ask hard questions. If you can't handle it, maybe you shouldn't be here." Keanu leaned forward, his calm mask slipping. His voice rose, steady but sharp. "Hard questions? Ask me about the work. Ask me about the craft. But don't you dare question whether my grief is real, whether my kindness is genuine, whether the tragedies I've lived through are some performance." The room gasped. Whoopi's eyes widened. Keanu had invoked the weight of his personal losses. His daughter, his partner, his sister. The studio seemed to hold its breath. Joy snapped back. "Now you're being dramatic. I never mentioned your tragedies. I'm talking about your brand." "No, Joy," Keanu said louder now. "You can't separate the two. When you call someone's generosity fake, you're attacking their soul. You're telling people that kindness doesn't exist. that every good deed hides an agenda. Sonny Hostin tried to cut in, but Keanu stopped her. His focus was locked on Joy. Go on. Tell us how helping a motorist change a tire was a publicity stunt. Tell us how giving my salary to crew was just a business move. Tell us how privately paying for cancer treatments was a marketing strategy. Joy gripped her pen so tightly her knuckles turned white. You see? That's rehearsed. That's not kindness, it's crisis management. Keanu's reply was ice. You want to know what crisis management looks like? It's when someone's called out for cruelty on live TV and instead of apologizing, they double down. That's crisis management. I'm not cruel, Joy insisted. I'm being realistic. Keanu laughed bitterly, shocking the audience. Realistic? You're not a journalist. Journalists seek truth. You seek controversy. You don't inform, you provoke because provocation sells. And that's what you care about. Whoopi tried again to intervene. Keanu, maybe we can... With respect, Whoopi, I'm not finished, he cut in. He turned back to Joy, his voice now a cold blade. How much of your career is built on tearing people down? How much of your paycheck comes from cruelty disguised as commentary? And when someone finally fights back, you hide behind the word journalist, as if it excuses you from being heartless. Joy flushed, her lips pressed tight. Keanu pressed harder. You don't challenge power. You prey on vulnerability, and you think cruelty makes you fearless? It makes you weak. The audience erupted, gasps, whispers, a few claps. Joy fired back, her voice venomous. You pretend for a living. You pretend to be decent for a living. At least I'm honest about pretending, Keanu snapped. The studio fell silent. The man known for quiet grace was now ablaze with fury. Joy tried to rally. You see? The mask is slipping. This is who you really are. Keanu's voice dropped to a whisper, carrying more weight than a shout. The real me is someone who has buried more people than anyone should. The real me wakes up every day choosing to make the world a little better. The real me still believes kindness matters, even when people like you try to convince the world it doesn't. Joy froze, speechless. For once, she had no comeback. But Keanu wasn't finished. His voice rose again, sharp and searing. And the real you is someone who bullies, mocks, profits off cruelty. You make people afraid to be good because they know you'll twist it into something ugly. The audience gasped, some clapped, some simply stared. The other hosts lowered their eyes. Joy stammered, "This is a meltdown." Keanu stood towering over the table. His voice was steady, final. You're right. This is the real me. The real me is done pretending cruelty is journalism. The real me refuses to stay silent, while you poison people into believing kindness is a lie. And if calling that out is a meltdown, then maybe the world needs more meltdowns. He grabbed his jacket, cast one last look at Joy, and walked off the set. The audience roared, half in shock, half in support. The cameras rolled on, capturing a moment that would ignite endless debate. Keanu Reeves, the man known for his calm humility, had detonated on live television. The question wasn't just whether Joy Behar went too far. It was whether Keanu Reeves had exposed the rotten truth about what daytime television had become. Was this the end of Joy's credibility, or the moment Keanu shattered his own carefully built image? One thing is certain. This confrontation will not be forgotten. Now tell me, was Keanu right to finally snap, or was Joy just doing her job? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next breakdown.